So, I don't even know if I'll ever put this video anywhere, but we've got 3 railway sleepers, ex-railway sleepers. So they're double dipped, first in a layer of H5 treatment, which is like the highest concentration treatment that they do. And even further to that, railway sleepers like this are dipped in creosote. So basically will never ever rot out. So these were $70 each from Mitre 10. We'll hopefully get them and use them on the next site as well. So Dan has agreed tomorrow to come and help me put this container in place. Hopefully that's enough of a pathway into the shed. I'm thinking of having the doors on this side so no one from the road can see what I'm building inside it. That's the plan. And we just borrowed the weed eater, done ourselves a little stretch here. Though this dimension isn't quite right either, because my weed mat is actually only 5.6 meters long. We needed it to be 5.9 or 6.1. So yeah, it doesn't quite fit, doesn't quite reach, but that's okay. Also, these aren't exactly level. This one is on higher ground than the one down there, so maybe we need to put some bits of shit timber or something on top of it between that far one and raise it up and make it level. But it's getting a little dark for that now. We've got to go have some Indian tonight with the rest of the family, and we'll see how we go. So hopefully as well, the truck with the container on it can come down here, turn this corner, back it on up, and then we can swing it round and lie it down, and we'll see whether or not these flax bushes gets ripped out as well. Exciting times. Well, it's going to be probably 10, 11 months after being forced to put this down due to the heavy rains that we had at the time in my mum's paddock. We've finally got the resource consent through. We own the land. We're moving the container. It's all happening. What a time to be alive. Look at this patch of ground. Little mushrooms have been growing. Here she is, boys and girls. The container is on site.
You haven't done the door yet.
Haven't done the door. Nope. So, we have Dun's help today, and we are going to start doing some architrave and skirting. Architrave being the stuff around the windows, skirting being the stuff around the floor, architrave also being the stuff around the doorway. Meanwhile, Emma is going to be just continuing sanding, going like whoop 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 whoop. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, following the Mitre 10 video of how to install mouldings, let's just get into it. So we've got 2 meters from the floor up to this mark here. The last builder actually already marked it in pencil, but we want a 3mm quirk from this edge going up. Borrowed a drop saw from Johnny Horrocks at the Regional Council. So thank you, mate. Shout out to you. And we've made that mark, and then we've just done a little pencil to show what way we want that mitre to be done when we get to it. So because we have a beveled edge, because we're using the same stuff for the skirting as for the architraves, made the decision to just have the edge on the outside. Could have gone with it on the inside and make it look like a portal through the doorway, but this will probably come up a little nicer, because then it should meet the beveled edge down below and everything like that. So we cut one, like 5mm short, so we've just cut a second one. Good times. Alright. So, oh yeah, and then we were like, oh well, at least don't waste a cut. But then it was actually on the wrong angle on the wrong edge, so well. Okay, so we've got our first one. Sweet. So, very easily, we now have a little quirk, as they call it, which is a gap between your trim or moulding and your door jamb. You have that gap so that when anything moves, it doesn't become too obvious. And I'm having to be builders bogging up some of that anyway when we switch this door around to the face on the other side. So, a couple of little nails, and I've just sort of had to bash the jib down there with a hammer because it was actually further out than the jamb, putting everything on a bit of a skew. But that's alright. So nails in, we've got some nail punches. Nail punches, as it turns out, have a little yeah, don't mind me. Yeah, they have a little hole there so that they're supposed to grab the head of this pin when we finish them in. But yeah, that's all good. Into it. So this one goes hard down, and one consideration is that because this is the latch, when I cut this one in on this side, I'm going to want to know exactly where these nails are so that we don't have to drill or any holes where these nails are. If I hit some nails with those holes, it's just going to be another world of issues. So something sort of important to keep in mind. So in about half an hour or so, we've managed to get this door frame up, put the glue up in the corners, take about half the width of the blade just to make it match, even though one door frame edge is not as long as the other one. So that's a bit of fun, that's alright. We'll just fill that out. So now we'll do this edge along here, make it straight, keep it easy. And we'll do this edge along here, make it straight, keep it easy. Right, so next challenge, when we're doing this edge, because we've got the bevel to the outside, just kick out, you're right. Yeah, we want this to butt up against it. And I was like, oh, we could chisel that out so it comes in flush. Much better option by a rather clever individual is to do an internal mitre like that. So that's cut at 15 degrees as a test piece and butt it up like that. And how good does that look? Beautiful. So that's what we'll do. So we have that piece of trim done and that piece of trim done. So now I'm going to cut my piece of wood to do this funny little underscore thing, and we'll show you how that works. So I'm going to do a 45 degree down and on, like so. So I've got a 45 degree like that if it was to go into the wall. Now for something called the underscribe. So you're going to take a pencil and just a little bit of a line on the very edge to help highlight where exactly that is. Now essentially I'm going to use the saw to cut vertically straight down, so if you're looking directly from above you can't see any more of this timber here, but I'm going to leave this top edge as thin as I possibly can without snapping it off, and that is the trick. So we've got a chunk and we have this, so I'm just going to go and make that a little bit thinner if I can, but I've just got to remember that it slopes up from the from this edge, the top edge to the bottom edge because of that bevel. So make it a little bit thinner and then simply place that on top. It should be good. Just giving it a wee vacuum and that should sit just like that. So we're doing the double ender now. Done my little mitre there and then come back the distance I've measured, make sure that we're getting everything up the right way and that bevel on top.
Mum doesn't help with anything,
So Mum's come past to drop us off a dehumidifier for the room when we start painting. We thought we'd get her to bang a couple nails in. She's done a pretty good job with no glasses, except it's come all the way through into the actual windowsill. Oh dear.
I'm short. And it was
No, it's alright, it's alright. Well, you might be in Christchurch, but hopefully we'll get you around to help with painting, because that's definitely a strong suit of yours. Definitely something that you can do quite happily. Awesome. So back into it today. We are just doing around the windows and finishing up, putting all these nails in, setting them back. We've got some no more nails. No, not no more nails. Some Sealy's Gap filler. Oh, got to use the renovator for the first time too, to just take away these little edges here. Because I'd cut them back with a handsaw before, but actually making a nice window miter, that's achievable now. So, won that from a quiz back at the Union with Dad, Adam Gilshnan, and the guy that owns Kodak. I can't remember his name. So, first time use for that. Bloody good. Into it. So, we've just taken some Sealy's No More Gaps, filled in all the holes, run round, a little bead around the edge. We've smoothed that in with our finger and just tidying it all up. You can get away with a little bit on the outside. We'll just give that a quick sand before we do that first coat of paint. But it's coming up pretty nice. Coming up pretty nice. Any comments, Emma? Done? Anything you want to say? So yeah, this is Sunday, and after this we'll probably go into Mitre 10, get some primer, drop this back off to the guy that we borrowed it from. We've also received today a bloody dishwasher for free. Dunn has been such an incredible help with this, so I think he got this from his parents. But yeah, he's been here the last 2 days just putting in a hell of a lot of labour, so we've got to think of a good way to thank him. More than just a shout out over YouTube, that's for sure. Maybe a shout out at the Union, I don't know. Alright, into it.